that does is keep the branding between the Galaxy S series and the Galaxy Note series uniform. As far as features go, number 1 on the list is the Note 7's iris scanner, which allows you to unlock your phone with your eyes. So there's an infrared sensor that works in conjunction with a camera, which allows the phone to then scan your eyes. Setup is quick, fast, and honestly, it works really well. Now, this is by no means meant to replace a fingerprint because oftentimes that is going to be much quicker to unlock your phone. This is simply another option and an extra layer of security. Where this does work well though is if you wanted to unlock a picture or a document that's located inside a secured folder, or you can even use this to store passwords to log into websites. The only downside of that is it does require Samsung's web browser to work, so if you're into Chrome or anything else for that matter, you're out of luck. But if you're cool with using the stock browser, then it works as advertised. Next up at number 2, just like the Galaxy S7, the Galaxy Note 7 is also water resistant. Now hands down, my favorite thing about this is the fact that Samsung was able to do this without sacrificing design. There's no ugly port covers, just a really good looking phone. So because you're able to get that added protection without having to add a bulky case or have it look like the Galaxy S7 Active, which is one of the least attractive phones this year, that is a giant win. Next up at number 3, the Note 7's S Pen is better than ever. Now for sure, the biggest feature with the new S Pen is this time you cannot stick it in backwards and effectively wreck your pen. That was one of the biggest problems with the Note 5, and what was weird is no one seemed to believe it until they tried it for themselves. It was like, nah, that's a lie, let me put it, oh my god, what did I do? So it's a small thing, but the fact that you cannot do that on the Note 7 is a plus. On the technical side, the Note 7's S Pen is more precise than ever. With the Note 5, the tip on its S Pen came in at 1.6 millimeters, whereas with the Note 7, its S Pen is only 0.7 millimeters. What this translates to is a more precise and more responsive experience whether you're drawing or writing. And if you had never used the S Pen on the Note 5, you would of course think it works really well, but it's really when you compare them side by side that you see the huge difference. Lastly, and this is probably my favorite feature period on the Note 7, and whether you're Team GIF or Team GIF, you guys duke it out in the comments. Nonetheless, you can create one from a YouTube video with the Note 7. And next up at number 4 is the Note 7's display. It's a 5.7-inch Super AMOLED panel with a resolution of 1440 by 2560, and you guessed it, it looks good. Now one giant feature that Samsung is going to be pushing is HDR video, and don't get me wrong, that is awesome when software works with hardware, but the problem is, as of right now, it's only going to work with Amazon and it's not out yet, so we're really going to have to wait and see until we get excited. Beyond that, there really isn't anything to complain about with the display. The phone itself feels great in your hands, it's a great size, and whether you're watching video or playing games, it all looks fantastic. The next up at number 5 is Samsung's Always On display. And what's really cool with the Galaxy Note 7 is that it combines its Always On display with its screen off memo. So this allows you to whip out your S Pen and quickly jot down a note or a list. But what's rad is you can then pin it onto your screen and then view it with Always On display for up to an hour. Following that at number 6 is the Galaxy Note 7's camera. Now as far as the front shooter goes, the Note 7 is rocking a 5 megapixel front shooter, and in addition to a solid megapixel count, you're also getting a nice wide field of view, which is awesome for selfies. Where the Galaxy Note 7 is going to shine though is its rear camera, which features a dual pixel 12 megapixel sensor. It's going to be nearly identical to the Galaxy S7, and I know a few people freaked out when they saw Samsung jump down from 16 to 12 megapixels, but again, I will stress, megapixels are not everything. The Galaxy S7 is hands down one of the best smartphone camera options out right now. With Note 7, you're going to get that exact same quality. Next up at number 7, with this new Note comes a much cleaner and visually satisfying UI. I think we can all agree as far as Samsung and TouchWiz goes, they've never had the cleanest or the prettiest interfaces, but with Note 7, there's actually a pretty solid improvement. It's softer, it's less clunkier, there's subtle nice touches like being able to change the colors on your folders, and on top of that, even little things like your lock screen being able to change color when you rotate it. So overall, this is a much welcomed improvement. And next up at number 8, and this is for you storage junkies out there, get excited because the Note 7 features micro SD card expansion. So this is blended right in with the SIM tray, and this is going to allow you to expand storage up to 256 gigabytes. Now so far we've seen a ton of similarities between the Galaxy S7 and the Note 7, but number 9 is something completely different, and that is the inclusion of USB Type-C. Unfortunately, USB Type-C is not going to bring Quick Charge 3.0 to the Note 7, it's still going to be Quick Charge 2.0, but regardless, I am a fan of the movement towards USB Type-C. It's much easier in the sense that you can plug it in either way, and I cannot wait until all I need to carry around with me are USB Type-C cables. Lastly, at number 10 is the Note 7's battery, which sizes in at 3500 milliamps. Honestly, I wish Samsung maybe would have reached a little higher as far as battery life goes, maybe somewhere in the 4000 milliamp range. But nonetheless, it's the biggest capacity on any Note and should get you through the day. On top of that, Samsung has also introduced a deeper level of control over battery life. So no longer do you have just a couple basic modes, you can actually really dive in there, dig deep, and fine tune it to your needs. Aside from that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you're excited for the Note 7, make sure to smash that like button. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later.